This is only going to make things worse. What is it going to make worse? Well, almost everything that the government tries to do to make things better ends up making them worse. I'm hoping that you're starting to see that government is not the solution to our problems. They create the problems, and then when they try to fix the problems, they only make them worse. And this latest policy that's being put in by the United States, states within the United States and other countries, is only going to have the reverse effect. So let's dig in and take a look and see what I'm talking about. As you can see here on my screen, we have an announcement that in California, Governor Newsom has announced that he's going to send out more stimmy. More money is going to go out to Californian people to help offset the rising inflation. Now, the rising inflation, that means the prices are going up. Gas prices are at their highest level we've ever seen, and a lot of people are feeling the pain. In California, people commute really far to work, and as those gas prices go up, it really affects them. Now, why are gas prices going up? Oh yeah, government policy. So of course, government policy comes back in to try to save the day. But is it going to work? Let's see exactly what's happening, and we'll break this down. As the Federal Reserve attempts to crush aggregate demand through the most aggressive monetary tightening policies in decades to cool red-hot inflation, Governor Gavin Newsom has come up with a brilliant idea to stoke even more demand. So, as I talk about all the time, prices are too high. How do you change prices? There's two levers, supply and demand. So if prices are too high, we can do one of two things. We can add demand, we can add supply. Let's bring more gas, more supplies, or we can crush demand. Now, if you've been following along, I've been talking about on this channel that the Federal Reserve, they can't print more gas and they can't print more food. And so their only other option is to crush the demand. And I've been showing you over and over how that is the Fed policy to crush demand. As a matter of fact, you can see this headline right here. The Fed has to destroy demand to cool off the economy. So instead of bringing more supply, instead of taking their boot off the neck of producers so they can produce more supply so prices come down, no. They can't do that. Let's crush the demand. What does that mean? Let's make you more broke so you can't buy all that food. You can't drive that much, and that will lower demand. So that's what they're trying to do. It says it right here. This is exactly what their policy is. Gas prices. What is demand destruction? So they're trying to destroy demand. If it's too expensive to fly, you don't fly as much. If it's too expensive to drive, you don't drive as much. But this is backfiring because what's happening is they're trying to limit the demand, but now they're going to give people more money to go create more demand. You see, when they increase the money supply, it increases the demand. People have more money. When people have more money, they go spend more money. That increase in the money supply increases the demand, and that's exactly what they're doing. We can see here millions of Californians will be receiving up to $1,050 as part of a new middle-class tax rebate. Now, I'll have you know that California, I'm sure it's no surprise, has the highest taxes in the nation, income taxes. We also have the highest gas taxes. So there's federal tax, there's state tax. I believe that the taxes, when you add in state and federal, are about 80 cents a gallon, but that doesn't tell the whole story because California taxes all the people in the gas supply chain. So they tax the gas stations, they tax the gas holding tanks, they tax the gas trucks that deliver the gas, et cetera. So there's lots of taxes there. So they could, just lower the tax a little bit, and that might bring the price of gas down. But no. Let's just send more stimmy out to the people without understanding how much they're driving. So, for example, if you're being adversely affected by high gas prices, wouldn't it make sense to make gas prices cheaper? You could cut the taxes. That would work. If you just send out money to people to help offset that, how do you know if they're driving? This person could be commuting 100 miles every single day. This person might not even have a car. So why would you just send out $1,000? Now, that money is going to find its way into the economy in all types of places. That's going to do what? That's right, increase demand, which is exact opposite of what they're trying to do. We can see here stimulus checks is the utter nonsense and will only work counter to what the Fed is ultimately trying to achieve, which is the recession by aggressively hiking interest rates. So the Fed is trying to cause a recession by hiking the interest rates, because if they cause a recession, it will destroy the demand. But here we have Newsom's stimulus checks would temporarily fuel inflation in the state, as households would instantly spend the free money on whatever they please. Solving inflation with more government will only worsen the situation. So this is just like government. Now, it doesn't just stop there. We have that in the United States, in California, but it's also happening in the world. So let's take a look at this article. The G7, so the top 7 countries in the world, agree to explore a price cap on Russian oil. So the United States and the G7 have already put sanctions on Russia. You can't buy any Russian oil. However, that hasn't stopped any other countries from getting Russian oil. They've just now had to maybe go through a middleman, so it's added a little bit more cost. And also, by reducing some of the supply, what happens to prices? Remember, supply and demand. If you reduce supply, what happens? That's right, price goes up. So by reducing the supply of that Russian oil, what has it done to oil prices? Well, I can show you. Look at this chart. We can see oil prices down here, and they've just been going up, 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 up. And now we have oil prices at a very high price because what did they do? They lowered the supply. Now, let's see. If Russia supplies 10% of the world's oil, and we make it harder to get that oil to market, that pushes the price of the oil up. Now, Russia gets their money from what? Oh yeah, selling oil. Does Russia benefit from a higher oil price or a lower oil price? Well, I would imagine a higher oil price. So wouldn't the proper way to fight Russia would be to try to lower the oil price? That way they make less money. Maybe they don't make enough money from selling their oil. Maybe they would comply. But as long as we push the price of oil up, they're richer than they've ever been. They're crushing it over there as we try to put sanctions on them, which only hurts us in America. And now we have California sending out stimmy checks. Now, this is rich. I love this part here. It says leaders push to examine Russian price cap. So they're saying, all right. What we'll do is we'll cap the amount of what Russia can sell it for. Because what we'll do is we'll force Russia to sell it for lower. And I love this part right here. It says, having reached the overarching consensus, so everybody agrees. Everybody agrees this is a great idea. Let's put a cap on how much they can sell for. What a great idea. On seeking options to impose their price limit on Moscow's exports, the G7 members will now have to do further work on the technical options of how to deliver it. This is a very ambitious and demanding project, and there is still a lot of work to be done. So, hey, that's a great idea. Let's put a cap so they can't sell it for high prices anymore. Everybody agrees. Oh, but shoot, how do we actually do that? We have further work on the actual technical options of how to get that done. Which means there is no way to do it. We can say here, the idea to put a cap is a very good one, says French President Emmanuel Macron, who is a clown, said following the summit. But he added, there is a technical difficulty in getting it implemented. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, this is just insanity at its best. And all they're doing is making the problem worse. By reducing the supply, you and I pay more money. The Fed's trying to fight that with demand destruction, but now California is going to send out money to people to offset the high gas prices that they caused by reducing supply, which is only going to create more demand. And then they're going to try to put sanctions on Russia even more, which is going to do what? Oh yeah, reduce the supply even more, which is going to do what to the price? Oh yeah, push it up even higher. And then they have the audacity to give us this unicorn vision of the world that let's just tell them that they can't sell their oil for a higher price anymore. But we don't know how to get that done. You can't make this stuff up. The insanity of these people. Let me know what you think about that. Leave me a comment and let me know how incompetent and how irrelevant are these leaders. It's almost like they're in quicksand. The more they fight, the more they're sinking. Clown world at its best. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. The bell notifications so you know when new videos come out. And that's what I got for you today, right? To your success. I'm out. Since you've stayed to the end, I know you like this video, which means you're probably going to really like this video right here and this video right here.